This is Arius Sews. Welcome back to my channel. So the right side is my inspiration and the left side is what I came up with. So the first thing I want to do now is to draw my start line to make sure that all my measurements are straight. And after that, I went ahead to mark the neckline. I used 3.5 inches for the width and 3 inches for the neck depth, and this is for the back piece. After I was done drafting the neck, I went ahead to mark my shoulder measurement, which is from the center of my back to wherever it is that I want it to stop on my arms. And after marking that, I measured 12 inches from the start line all the way down and marked the 12 inches. After marking that, I went ahead to measure it on a straight line, just so that I have a straight line to mark my measurement. Just watch what I'm doing and I'm sure you will understand. Now, the next measurement to take is my hip measurements divided by 4 plus 4 inches. 4 inches because I want the bubu to be very free. So I'm going to mark that right now, and after marking that, I just went ahead to mark it all the way down to the length of the bubu, and then I connected it with a straight line to meet with the sleeve. And after connecting it to the sleeve, just as you see, I just curved it to make it easy to sew. I just put a curve there to connect the lines together. The back piece is completely done, and I proceeded to cut it out, making sure to leave about 0.7 inch allowance at the shoulder. And after doing that, I just cut out the entire length of the bubu. Proceeded to use the back piece to cut out the front piece. So I'm going to cut it out exactly the same measurement, exactly the same length. The only thing I'm going to be leaving out is the neck, which I'm going to be dealing with after I've cut out the main bodies. The neckline, first I marked out the seam allowance from the shoulder so that I don't mix that up. And then for the neck width, I used the same 3.5 inches, and I'm going to be making a V neckline for the front. So for the neck depth for the front, I marked 8 inches, and I'm just going to make a slant to connect both points. Then I'm going to measure that slant, whatever that slant gives me, and divide it into 2. Then I will mark whatever it is that I get on the slant, just as you see me do. And on that point, on that half, I'm going to mark 0.5 inch out. This is to make sure that the V neckline sits perfectly on the neck and has no gaping. So from that 0.5, I'm going to slant it again to enter into the neckline, into the 3.5 and into the 8 inches. I went ahead to turn the V-neck with a bias strip, and I also turned the back separately with a bias strip. When I was done with that, I folded it into 2, just as you see, and I placed the ashoke, which was also folded into 2. That's 2 pieces of ashoke underneath it, and I just slanted it just as you see me do. I just slanted it like that, and I used pins to secure the Ankara to the ashoke so that it will not move. This is what the chest area looks like. It's already slanted. Just from slanting it from the neckline, it's already slanted also at the chest side. So I marked 0.5 inch and used my ruler to roll that down, and to make it easy so that it doesn't keep shifting, I just went ahead to sew that 0.5. I cut it out and went ahead to sew that down. Please note that while I was stitching it, I kept back stitching to make sure that the stitch was tight. I back stitched all the way to the end. After stitching the chest side, I just trimmed out the excess at the shoulder, and after I was sure that I was satisfied with trimming everything, I opened it up and also opened the Ankara up and proceeded to start placing it. So just made sure that I placed it and it was very flat. I opened the seam up with my fingers and I just placed it on the V neckline for the front, and I proceeded to pin it down to make it easy to work with. After securing it, I went ahead to sew it down just as I'm indicating with my finger, and just like that the front piece was completely ready. Once I was done doing that, I just placed the back piece right side facing right side. I placed it on the front piece and I joined the shoulders on both sides just as I'm indicating. When the shoulders were completely joined, I proceeded to open it up. I measured what I had and used it to cut out this ashoke strip. Then I turned the bubu to the wrong side and joined the ashoke on the part that is fraying. I joined it to the bubu on the wrong side, and then I top stitched on the Ankara. After top stitching, I turned it back to the right side just as I'm indicating, and I pinned it down, and I went ahead to run a straight stitch on it. So basically the ashoke is overlapping on the Ankara, and I repeated the same thing to the other side. I went ahead to run the stitch down just the way I'm indicating, and when I was done with that, I folded it and I stitched it from the sleeve all the way down to the hem of the bubu. I repeated the same thing to the other side as well, and I went ahead to turn the hem of the bubu, and that was basically it. Here's what it looked like when I was done with it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you found this video helpful. God bless you.